Hey guys, hey guys, this video is going to be a guide on how to make money. I realize I haven't done a guide in a while. I've been kind of busy doing stuff like Thanksgiving, and yeah, I've just been busy, but I'm back now, so it's all good. Alright, as I said, this guide is going to be about making money, and the first thing that you're going to need to do is find out which frog is the most expensive that you can make. Now, there is a really quick way to do this. Go ahead and go to your froggy decks, which is down here. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and give it a sec to load. There we go. So right here you can see Varu is the most expensive frog for me, which is unlocked at level 16. Same thing with the Magus. You unlock 2 frogs every level, and they're both going to be of roughly the same value. So these 2 frogs are the most expensive for my level. I'm, however, not going to use those for the example in this video because they take 2 days to grow, which is much too long. So I'm just not going to use those. I'm going to use replacements, and you can use your imagination to assume they are the more expensive kind. Alright, so there are 2 ways to approach making money. One way to approach it is slightly more risky. The other way is guaranteed, but there's the potential that it could earn you less money. So they will both earn you money no matter what, but one could earn more than the other depending on your luck. So, in here, I want you to pretend that this is an expensive frog. Alright, this glass chromatribus, pretend this is like really expensive, okay? It's like just a ton of money. Pretend these are exactly what they are. This one and this one are just Anuras, cheap frogs with some random color schemes that don't really matter. So, here, let me quick do something. Alright, both of these are expensive ones. Glass chromatribus and another glass chromatribus. Those are both really expensive ones, just pretend that. Well, the first method that you can use, I'm going to do the more risky one. The more risky one is where you take a smaller one, like this, Black Pichia Anura, and breed it with the expensive one. So if I do this, it's going to cost me less coins than if I were to just breed the 2 expensive ones together. That's 10 less coins. I mean, 10 coins isn't much, but on a bigger scale, it's going to start making a big difference of a few thousand coins, probably. Now, if you do it this way, where you breed the cheap one with the expensive one, there is a 50% chance, as you can see, that I will get the cheap one over again, and there's a 50% chance that I will get the expensive one. And it's always a 50% chance. Even if you get more frogs on the sides, it's still a 50% chance. Like, there will be 2 expensive ones and 2 cheap ones, and there's still a 50% chance that you'll get the cheap one, and same for the expensive one. So it's kind of risky because you might get the cheap one again, and if you get the cheap one, then you've just wasted a potential 5,000 coins or something. Well, so yeah. If you get lucky and you get all expensive ones by breeding this way, then good for you. You've just made a whole bunch of money, and the breeding cost was much less than it normally is. So you've made even more money than you normally would. The other way, which I like to use just because it's guaranteed to make me about the exact same amount of money every time I do it, it's not very risky, and it usually takes a little bit less time, is to breed the 2 expensive ones together. Here, you're guaranteed to get the expensive one over again. They don't have to be the same color scheme, by the way, because color scheme doesn't really matter. The pattern of the frog is what makes it more expensive. What makes it more expensive for the most part. The color schemes only change it a little bit. If you really want to get into it, then you could find out which color scheme is the most expensive for these frogs, but I can't do that yet because I don't have the froggy decks all the way filled out, and it would take way too much time because they take 2 days to breed, as I said, so it's just not worth it to me. But yeah, those are the two methods. The for sure one, that's going to just about guaranteed make you some money, will make you some money, even if it's not as much as you could get, where you breed the two most expensive together, and you would do that 8 times. So like I'm going to do here, just go ahead and do that. Eight times, and now I've got a full nursery of these expensive ones because there was a 100% chance I was going to get that. Wait for those to grow, sell them, keep these 2 frogs, and do it all over again. The other way, where you would take the cheap one and breed it with the expensive one, has a 50% chance of getting you a lot of these and 50% chance of getting you a lot of these. So if you get a lot of the expensive kind, then good for you. You just made a ton of money, the breeding cost wasn't as much. That's very good. You just saved a whole bunch of money. However, if you get a whole bunch of the cheap ones, you might as well just sell them because they're super cheap and do it all over again. And in whichever case, you can go in here, just wait for these to breed or to fully grow, sell them off, make a whole bunch of money, and then do it all over again. That's how I make money. I don't do it that often. A good way to make money just naturally without actually having to bother with getting your 2 most expensive frogs together and keeping them here is whenever you make a mistake in breeding something. So if I wanted a specific frog but I made a mistake and I got a different kind of frog, go ahead and just move it to a separate habitat. Like these 2 habitats right here, maybe 3, it depends, I save for frogs that I don't really want, but they were mistakes. Like when I was target breeding and I wanted a certain kind and I messed up, I just go ahead and take that messed up frog that I don't really want and put it in these 2 habitats and wait for it to fully grow. Once it's fully grown and 100% happy, I sell it and make more money. If I were to sell it right off the bat because it was a mistake, I would lose all of that potential money. So it's kind of like, what's the word for it? It's kind of just like money making naturally. You don't actually have to try, you just have to wait a little bit longer and use up a few habitats sometimes. And then if you obviously have more mess ups that are going to overflow into habitats you need, you can just sell those right off the bat. But every time you have empty space that you're not going to end up using, go ahead and put the mistakes in there and wait for them to grow. So yeah, that's just about all the money making advice I can give you. So hopefully you found this video somewhat helpful, and go ahead and subscribe and like this video if you want to see more. And yeah, that's about it. See you later, guys.